Alright, welcome back everyone. As you'll probably notice, my live count and my health have been reset, and we're back in the first castle again to grab the star that we apparently missed from this toad. And this is all directly related to the reasons I had so much trouble with that shell skipping star. So it turns out, after the fact, I looked up, what was supposed to be going on, and it's a good news, bad news sort of situation, where the good news is I wasn't, insane and just randomly missing a random star there, but the bad news is, and I might have to do it again at some point, because as you can see, the water here is missing. So what tends to happen is when you do like save state items, the game kind of deloads certain textures, and part of that ends up being there were, in that quicksand leading up to the star, there were supposed to be these sand dollar kind of things which weren't showing, because you also might remember the one time when I was going for a different star, I randomly fell in the sand and didn't die right away until I jumped somewhere else, and I kind of dismissed it as just a weird glitch at the time. But yeah, no, they're supposed to be these sand dollar things, and their textures just never loaded. So basically means, and I kind of screwed myself again with it, as you can see, because that water out there not loading. Holy shit. With this wall jumping, I'm gonna die. But yeah, I might have to just bite the bullet and reload from, or just start the file from the title screen again every time I, pick the game up for a new segment. And why can't I do wall jumping? But yeah, so that kind of solved that mystery. I was, I guess, somewhat relieved that it wasn't anything more, oh, I just somehow always missed the right location, but yeah. That's really what that situation came down to. And now, with that in mind, if we run into anything else where graphics are loading, that'll probably be what the solution ends up being. So in theory, I could probably keep going as it is, and I know a fix if things start to look, similar to what we had there. But moving on, and I guess one thing I kind of am sort of, well, I guess you'd say maybe compelled to do a little bit is, in Cody's last segment, he had a really, I guess it was pretty fractured, but annoying story. Not annoying in so much, oh, he's telling it, but just annoying in the content of it. And this camera is just fantastic. About, a major work inconvenience. Wall kicks still work. Spiral up the winding watchtower. So it kind of got me thinking, and he kind of alluded to it as someone who's done numerous customer service related jobs over the past several years. Yeah, I can definitely say I've had my fair share of rather annoying workplace stories. You know, so some of the ones that stick out most, and I could probably begin with these, would be the one department store I worked at for probably about, I'd say, it was about 5 years almost. It was one of those things where, you know, to be perfectly honest, I, you know, didn't have issues with most of the people I worked with there. You know, most of the managers and all that were fairly decent people to work with, and you know, I can't complain about that. But like, I guess like almost anything, you know, you can sometimes just have that one manager who you just always sort of dread being around. So to kind of set up things, I basically worked in the men's department, which kind of also included the kids department, because neither of those were all that big, and I guess I should probably see if I can get over there. I mean, for the most part, I was in the men's department. I didn't really work over in the kids section all that much. And why can't this thing work? Hello? Come on, you can do it. Unable to load save. And why would that be? Let me see here. Why is it in... Okay, let's see. Alright, I don't know how it got way in the wrong save state. That was very weird. But anyway, so I mostly stayed in the men's department, but between the men's and the kids departments, there were 4 main checkout kiosks. 3 for the men's department. There was the one general men's checkout desk, and there was one for the shoes and suits area, and one for the, I guess it was, you'd say, the specialty polo department, and then there was one for just the kids section. And anyway, the shoe and suits department, I think was technically referred to as men's furnishings, you know. In practice, though, since it was located kind of behind the wall from where all the shoe displays were, most people, you know, would just casually refer to it as the shoes register. However, for this one manager, and yeah, we can just skip all that because there wasn't anything of interest over there. Yeah, for this one manager, that wasn't good enough, apparently. She would insist on, you know, making sure it was referred to as the furnishings. So, like, if you were closing down the register, you know, and, you know, it'd be like, and you happen to refer to it as the men's shoe register, you know, within earshot of her, she would say, no, that's the men's furnishings register. And like, okay, whatever. And, you know, just stupid pedantic things like that were, you know, just like, why does it matter so much? And then it was also, you know, we can go further with that, with being, you know, most of the time I worked there, since when I worked there it was part-time basis, and I would mostly be working there in the evenings on work days until it closed. on weekdays, I would be working in the evening until close. Just let me make sure I'm saying this clearly. So, a lot of times, let's see, Secret Bloom of Bloomshroom Tomb. So we gotta find the tomb. Ugh. But yeah, a lot of times to be closing, and in a lot of weekdays, unless it was during a big sales event, in the evenings it wouldn't necessarily be very busy. And we wouldn't always have as much staffing on those kind of days. So it was not an exaggeration to say that, ow, stupid water spider, get away from me. Yeah, it was not an exaggeration to say that, a lot of times on those weeknights, we could have, more registers open than we actually have people working in the department. So when it's not busy at all, try to get a head start in closing some of the registers when the opportunity was available. And, for the most part, most managers and, even the person that was in charge of the cash desk would be perfectly fine. It'd probably be maybe like start doing this maybe 35 minutes, maybe 40, 45 at the absolute earliest, often, if it was really dead. But other than that, yeah, it was fine. You close the desk, especially one of the desks that's in an area where there's not a lot of traffic going. Probably be something like the the furnishings bag, or, the polo desk. But if that one specific manager was on and she didn't explicitly say, okay, we should close this register, and you close the register, very annoyed. No, don't stop closing the register, and close the door and keep the register open, just because we have to have all these registers open for no reason, even though, like I said, there's more of them open than we actually have people working that day. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, a lot of times you could have a lot of annoying customer stories, but sometimes it's the the stories with people in the workplace. Ugh, that was bad jumping. Yeah, people in the workplace that you're getting more frustrations with, because every kind of position like that has those kind of annoying customer stories and all that. But where you get really unique is things like that. Just dealing with people that sort of take the job at more than its face value. It's like, okay, you're a manager at a department store. You're not, around here running like a Fortune 500 company. So, let's have a little bit of perspective on how things should keep running smoothly, because most people, we're not about trying to stay forever. I mean, it's like in hours, but more hours is more money and all that good stuff. But yeah, it's like, what, that extra 15 minutes that we have to stay because we want to have to wait to close up all these extra registers is not really worth the the time that we could be spending going home. And I guess there's nothing up here, or wait, this was the one where I saw something way on the top, I thought. But yeah, so that's like some of the major gripes I had from that position. I mean, yeah, if I go into like customer related events, which is once again a universal thing when you're dealing with these kind of positions. Let's go back down for the minute here. But yeah, you always get things like one I always remember sticking out in my mind was, I was going in on a weekend day. Okay, so those doors aren't open. Yeah, I was going in on a weekend, and occasionally they would have like mini events in the kids department where their specials were, you know, kids could try on outfits and stuff. There was a big production. I was almost never involved in those, luckily, because I didn't really care. But you know, I was there after, you know, work covering in the kids department sort of after the fact, and okay, those trees are not solid. That's interesting. Yeah, I was covering in there sort of after the fact, and there was still some things set up, like there was a small table set up with like coloring and drawing supplies, so, you know, so kids that weren't sort of interested or participating in that were able to you know, set down color and stuff. And so as I'm covering the kids' desk, a family comes up and they're looking to buy, you know, some for kids clothes item. I think it was some sort of costume set. It was something that okay, there we go. Now this makes a lot more sense. But yeah, it was some for costume set that it was one of the, you know, kind of things that coupons don't work for, and I know that's another thing I could rant on forever, and I might do that after I know the story, depending on what time it is. But yeah, it's something coupons didn't work for. So, well, most coupons didn't work for, because they had a coupon, I think, that might have been handed out during the kids event. You know, so we haven't found the tune yet. And they came up there and it's like, well, and I said, well, unfortunately, you know, that, you know, coupon doesn't apply for that item. But, you know, because it wasn't, you know, very busy at that time, because all the main excitement had been during the actual event. You know, I was like, well, I can sort of look through here, and I knew we had another sort of coupon that was available, and it was actually going to be good. It was, you know, I think whatever the costume set was somewhere around like maybe $30, and this coupon was actually good for $10 off, and it actually worked on that particular item that they were buying. So you figure, you know, for most people that would be a pretty good trade-off. You know, it's actually, you're getting a coupon that's value is essentially, you know, third off for the item. But, you know, that apparently wasn't quite good enough, because, you know, this person immediately started inquiring, oh, do you have military discount? Which I had to tell them, no, we didn't. And he wasn't very happy about that and wanted to talk to a manager. It's like, okay, well, it's not very busy. You know, I can easily call a manager over. You know, and at this point, I was sort of regretting, you know, going out of my way at this point, because this is one of those cases where you give someone the inch and they want the mile. But, you know, I have them come over and they're able to reiterate, you know, that, you know, we didn't have the military discount, but, you know, I showed the manager, hey, you know, I have this coupon that I, you know, offered them that's, you know, good for the $10 off, and, you know, said, yeah, so you can do the coupon, So they sort of begrudgingly accepted that, you know, they weren't going to be getting the military discount, but they basically wanted to go a step further because their kid was sitting over in the supplies with the coloring supplies and all that, and basically asked, okay, well, can they have this crayon? You know, we had these giant sort of oversized crayons they're coloring with, and at this point I'm like, you know what? Pretty much just gonna be disposing of all that stuff, you know, at some point soon. So it's like, yes, you can take the crayon. You know, some people, they just need that victory, I guess. But yeah, that was one where I'm like, you know, why can't we just leave well enough alone sometimes? You know, this is the reason why a lot of people end up having problems. But yeah, to sort of go back a little bit to talk about the coupons themselves, that was the one thing really that always kind of annoyed me working there, was the way that coupons would work. Because, you know, we're one of those stores where we would have coupon. Basically, there was a basic active coupon essentially every single day that was like, you know, for most things, it's 25% off like most clothes, and like 15% off of other stuff, and like 10% off of other products. And, you know, as you might expect, you know, there were a fair share of things that were excluded, which, you know, is annoying, I know, for the customer a lot, but it's really not any more pleasant for us, because, you know, we have to say, you know, okay, well, such and such brand's excluded, and other such and such brand is excluded, you know. You know, we're not taking delight in saying, oh, no, you can't use your coupon, you know. And it was really the worst when you got to those, you know, major sales like, you know, Black Friday or any of the other kind of big sales we were in, where, you know, a lot of things would be marked on special doorbuster or bonus buy or whatever terminology we're using for that day's, you know, or that weekend's or whatever the period's sales. You know, and, you know, coupons obviously weren't effective on that. Now, the caveat to that is that there was a special kind of coupon you could get if you had the store's credit card, and for, you know, every like $200 you spend, you would get one of these coupons that was good for like $20 off of items, and that was pretty much good on anything that regular coupons excluded. Now, of course, once again, the gag is you have to have the store charge card, and of course, not everyone wants that. But, you know, you have to say, hey, you know, that's kind of is what it is. Now, where would this tomb be? Now, I'm pretty sure I looked everywhere around. So I mean, I don't know that there's anywhere else by the castle. Is there anything by this, what I guess is supposed to be a waterfall? No, because that's just that waterfall thing there. Yeah, so, you know, we have those kind of coupons that excluded just about, you know, everything, and then, you know, during the big sales, it would be like, especially during Black Friday, oh, they'd have this thing, oh, get $10 off a, you know, $10 or more item. Again, people understand that, you know, of course, at those times, you know, almost everything in the store was on sale as a doorbuster, or, you know, God forbid they came up with something that was $9.99, which, sorry, that doesn't qualify. So every time, you know, one of those coupons came out, it was a matter of like, oh well, they're just gonna end up buying like these useless hand towel sort of things or something that they essentially they were priced like at $10 so they could get them for free. And you know, I guess they feel like, oh well, you know, we have this coupon, I must use it even if I'm buying something they probably have absolutely zero use for. And you know, so we would always be kind of dreading that, because you'd always get the people coming in, well, we can't use this coupon on anything. Why do you even have this coupon? I don't want to shop here anymore. Blah 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 blah. You know, great. You know, you do you, pal. I don't, you know, don't really care all that much. But yeah, so that's what I could really say big time about the retail job. Anything else I've had, like working on the phones, I didn't have as many kind of issues like that as might have figured. I mean, mostly it would always come down to normal kind of things like, okay, so I thought maybe those might be destructible, but yeah, normal kind of things like, hey, I remember seeing you before, Mr. Boo. That's interesting. Yeah, normal things like, oh, people just, you know, complain about, you know, the way we have to handle things, like if they're calling in for something and I can't help them, so I have to have someone call them back for their help, and they're not happy. Well, how long do I gotta wait? Why don't I get helped immediately and stuff like that? Well, you know, unfortunately there's, you know, only so much I'm sort of allowed to do, and there's only so many people that are able to take care of the things you need to do, so unfortunately sometimes it just comes down to, you know, have to wait your turn. I can commiserate with Cody a fair amount in terms of, you know, sort of warehouse kind of things, because I did a few years kind of seasonally in a warehouse, you know, and I can definitely say that, you know, you definitely can have people that you can sort of get along working with pretty much okay, and you know, some people where, you know, they want things done a certain way even if it doesn't always make sense. Like when I did the warehouse, their major thing was we did products like Johnson & Johnson type products, like things like Listerine and Neosport, that kind of thing, where, you know, we would make specialty display things for, like, if you saw like a Listerine, like a big size Listerine bottle packaged with like a smaller kind of travel sized Listerine bottle, you know, that we would be the ones who sort of package them together for when they're sort of sent out to be on a store shelf. And I'm pretty sure I've already been over here, because that's the coin that the building that has the red coin and the star at it. So yeah, I'm not really sure where this tomb is supposed to be, so I might have to cut things for now because I'm starting to run a little bit long. But anyway, I guess I'll look for maybe another minute or two so I can finish up my thought I was saying. Where, you know, a lot of times if I'm doing Listerine, like, I'd be at a job, either the one end where I'd be doing the palletizing or putting the boxed up, finished packages onto a pallet, and so they can be sent out to go through the wrapper machine, where whoever's doing the forklift would you know, take it to put it wherever they're putting it until they're ready to do the putting it on the truck to send it out, or I could be doing the part where I'd be opening the boxes, the big boxes of Listerine, and you know, putting them on a line, so someone who's taking the boxes out of the bottles out of the boxes and putting them on line, they go on the rest of the product, you know, the whole production line goes from there. And that could be a bit of a challenging job depending on how fast the line was running, you know, in terms of if you're doing the 1 liter size bottles of Listerine, okay, fine, it usually wasn't that bad. If it was the 1.5 liter ones, you know, it became a little, you know, a lot more annoying because of how much heavier they were, and you know, how much there's fewer boxes on, you know, a pallet that the driver, you know, forklift driver brings to you to begin with. And there's also the fact that, you know, you have, you know, to keep the line stocked. So a lot of times, you know, if, you know, whatever spare seconds I had, I tried to maybe start opening another the whatever, like the next pallet is that was brought to me to get started. And sometimes you could just have a really picky forklift driver working at your line, where, you know, because I remember there was one where, you know, if I started opening the other boxes too soon, you know, or whatever, he would get kind of offended and, you know, would like purposely be slower in delivering me the next pallet. So it ends up like I end up not being able to get ahead whenever I had the opportunity, you know, unless I did things at exactly the pace he wanted them done. So, you know, that could be very annoying to deal with. But yeah, so I'm not really sure where else I'm gonna need to look. So I might, like I said, yeah, we're already almost 33 minutes here. So I'm, you know, and I'm hoping it isn't a situation like last time where because of a graphical glitch I'm missing like an obvious opening or doorway or something. Because yeah, when it's on that tomb, I mean, there's really not much else down on the lower levels of this map that I'm aware of. And like I said, you know, we've been through here pretty thoroughly, to the point where, you know, I'm not really sure where else to look here. So yeah, I think I'll probably just end up having to cut things here, and like I said, I'll probably do what I did last time and probably just finish collecting red coins and such, and, you know, seeing if another solution opens itself up, or, you know, whatever the case would be. Because yeah, I'm like, even punching these doors doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere. And like I said, unless it's in this, you know, maybe one of these flower beds or something, I am, you know, not sure. I'm just gonna take one last quick look up at the top of this guy. I mean, even though I know it's probably not likely because the other star is over there, but whoa, jump. So yeah, like I've said before, you know, yeah, I think with some of these levels, it's going to be a matter where we just have to accept not being able to get all of them in one segment run anymore without a lot of luck and what have you. But yeah, it doesn't look like it's anything up here. And yeah, that's the wall kicks still work, and You know, there were red coins around there and somewhere, and there was some around there, and we were on top of the building, and we were. Yeah, I don't. Unless it's something to do with that weird platform over there. Trying to debate if I have time to go ahead and look. Let me just double check and see how easy it is to get over there. Because yeah, other than that, I'm kind of out of ideas, and it may just be one of the things where I have to eventually cheat and look and see. But yeah, so yeah, other than that, that was sort of like the quickie version of things I can complain about for work. Yeah, until, you know, I got kind of inspired, I guess you'd say, by Cody's story. You know, there's nothing going on here. I'm not really sure what, because this kind of looks like a tomb, but unless there's, you know, something around here that I'm totally missing or whatever, but I don't know. Because what is, yeah, secret bloom of gloom shroom tomb. So maybe that means like there's a flower or something there, or I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I got inspired by Cody's talking, so it could be something I can always revisit when I think of something new to complain about that I remember from all those years, or you know, what have you. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna just go ahead and stop things for now, and like I said, next time we'll grab red coins and find more places to look for this whatever tomb star. So all right, I will catch you all later.